Mrs. Rodriguez, how long have you been the principal here at Nicolet Middle School?
I just started. This is my first time being a principal at a middle school. First time being a principal anywhere, but I started in July.
In July. So first year.
Yeah, first year.
Awesome. How are you liking it so far?
I love it. It's hard.
I can tell.
It is hard, and people ask me that often. People, friends, family, they say, "How's your new job?" And every time it's like, hey, you know what? It's really hard. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time, emotion, energy.
Definitely.
But at the end of the day, I love it, and I just feel so blessed to have a job that is just so rewarding.
Love it.
That I can say I'm passionate about.
And it shows.
Yeah.
It shows in everything that you do. The staff members talk highly about you. And when I gave that rundown of all the words that kind of made me think of you, I had to.
You embarrassed me a little bit, but it caught me off guard. I appreciate it.
I really think you're a game-changing principal. I really think you're redefining the role. And there's a lot of awesome administrators out there. And I think it was nice to just run into on Twitter and see everything that you're doing. I'm like, when do you run out of energy? Like, what's wrong with you? What's going on? Monster, Starbucks, what is it? What keeps you going?
You know what? So many things. A lot of it's the kids. I just being out there, spending time with the kids. If there's, like you were saying today in your keynote, there's days where you're just tired and you kind of want to come in and face the day and face all the things that are going to come at you. And on those days, I start my day off outside. And that is where it really helps to remind me of why I'm here and kind of fuel me for the day and start my day off right. I get my speaker. I have my rolling speaker right here, and I go out there, and sometimes I'll give my phone to a kid and say, play what you want as long as it's appropriate.
Awesome.
And or I'll go out there and I'll play some of my music and just have fun out there with the kids to start my day.
That is cool. I like that. I think that's a good strategy, if you will, for other principals to follow whenever they're not feeling it, or teachers, really, anyone in education.
Right? Yeah.
That's cool. So you've been in this head principal role for a couple months now, going into your first year. Mm-hmm. What are some strategies? What are some coping mechanisms that you've used as a principal like that? And what are some other ones that you want to share with other principals out there that maybe need some advice on how to stay fueled up?
Yeah. Well, everything that I'm going to mention is something that has been done or something that I learned from somebody else.
Awesome.
And along my way of 17 years in education, everything that I do has been learned from somebody else.
Awesome.
And so I really have had such amazing experiences to be able to work with some game changers themselves. Mm-hmm. My mom being one of them. My mom was a principal and for 10 years, and she was a director for 10 years. And then I got to work with Jessica Gomez, who was a principal who's connected on Twitter. Okay. And so she's the one who taught me about Twitter, and I got on Twitter and started learning and connecting with other educators. And so that right there is just connecting on Twitter and making sure you're going on there and you're following people who are like-minded and people who are innovative, doing all of these things all over the country that you wouldn't know unless you were on there and connected. And it all revolves around kids. Everything you do revolves around kids and appreciating your staff. So that's a big one too. I learned through Twitter and through my mentor principal that I worked for as an assistant principal is, you got to show your love for your staff. And you got to show appreciation to your teachers. So just doing little things. Like, for example, today, I learned it from Twitter and from my former principal actually did this. Okay. And there was a little poem talking about smiles and giving a smile. You always get one back. I keep trying to give you my smile, but you give it back. So I keep giving smiles. So I went in and I printed the poem, and I went to the Dollar Tree and bought these little mariacas that had a smile on it. And I went and put it on all the teachers' boxes,
That's
just
cool.
saying I'm giving you a smile. And little things like putting food out at staff meetings. I'll go and just buy, like you said, you saw today, when they came in, they can grab a bag of chips and a bottle of water, just to show that I know these meetings are at the end of the day, you're tired, but here's a snack to help fuel you a little bit, just to show that I know what it's like to have to come to a staff meeting after teaching a full day. Promoting reading and literacy, that that is huge, and that's something I had to learn. That isn't something that was really instilled in me. It's something I learned again from. I'm going to mention her a lot because she's
awesome.
Just
love it.
Jessica Gomez is somebody who has been a mentor for me.
Okay.
But there's a book called Lead with Literacy, and it's by Mandy Alice.
Okay, awesome.
And I got a lot of ideas. That's why I have my rolling library. Where kids can check out. You have to get access. You have to, and then you have to read kids' books. You have to know what's out there, and you have to know what the books are that are good. We're working on getting a little lending library where we have our art class right now, painting a little house where you can open it and put books in. And so we want to put that out in the front for kids to just have access to books, and put hallways with books all over. In the hallway, you take rain gutters and you turn them upside down and you mount them, and then you put books in there. And
awesome.
I don't even know what your original question was.
Just different strategies. That's perfect. I mean, I think. Can you imagine if all schools had a little rolling library?
Yeah.
Because I think you said the word. You didn't say opportunity. You said access. Yes, we have a library, but how many kids go to the library? But they see a little rolling library. Maybe now, let me pick up a book. And reading changed my life. So that's why I love why you do this for the kids. And I didn't start reading until I was 30 years old.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's been...
Reading changed my game as an educator.
Yes.
Because I didn't start reading until I started working for Jessica, where I think one of her first gifts to me was That's okay. I should have said that.
It's all right.
I'll come see you right now. Thank you. I'll come see you. One of the first things she gave me when I became an assistant principal was a book.
Which one?
Hacking Leadership.
Oh, everyone keeps telling me to read it. I haven't read it. Do I need to?
I want to say the author is Joe Sanfilippo.
Okay, sounds familiar. Yeah.
If I'm giving him credit when you read that, but I want to say it was Joe Sanfilippo. He incredible, and I had it is because I had an opportunity to meet him, and I let him know that his book was a game changer for me, and has been kind of like, my. I don't know what the word is, but just the principles of it's what I base my leadership off of. What was in that book? And they're just little strategies.
I love it. I think we can all learn from each other. I love how humble you are. That's why I said you're humble. You're someone who's very humble. You're at the top as a principal at the campus level, right? The top as a principal, and you're still learning. You're still growing. You mentioned mentors. I think I think everyone needs a mentor.
For sure.
It doesn't matter how high you are. Right. You need a mentor. And that kind of, I think about, I heard Eric Thomas talk about actor Denzel Washington. One of the best actors on the freaking planet.
Yeah.
He has an acting coach. So as educators, whether we're 5 years in, 1 year in, 20, we all need mentors. There's someone who we can still learn from. So I love that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
And then a question that I have, feel free to give specific examples, or if you can just paint a good picture for us. My question for you is, what do you like the most about your staff at this campus?
They're fun.
Love it.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that resonated with me and really stuck out to me on my very first day, because, the first day when I came into this position, we have 2 full days of staff development.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh man, what am I going to do? And they had 2 days of Kagan, which is like a cooperative learning type of strategies that a company will come out and do 2 days. And then I heard, well, we only have like 10 of our staff who hasn't gotten that training. So all the other 50 teachers have gotten this training. So I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So I was so nervous. Right. I had to basically plan my own PD. Yeah. 2 days worth of PD. And I had help. I started reaching out here and there. But I was so nervous going into that day. And I remember leaving like, oh man, they were so fun. They were so cool.
Awesome.
They were laughing.
Awesome.
They were having a great time. And I think that you have to create an environment at work where people are having fun.
And I think that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're creating that culture, and you're leading by example. You're literally leading the way, having people jump over you with bikes. I thought that was pretty cool. Well, I just want to say thank you for your time. Thank you for having me out here. Thank you for your insight on leadership. I've already learned stuff from here, and what I'm going to do is, I've done the Champion acronym for kids, and then the Champion acronym for teachers.
Yeah.
And then I want to I want to get game changers like you to just kind of spearhead champion principals.
I love it.
So with all these together, we'll come up with a list. I'll collaborate with you more.
Sure.
I can talk to Rose, talk to anyone in the in the leadership realm that's just doing what you guys are doing. And what is a champion principal? What would all these letters represent for a champion principal? And I think what you already talked about here, I already know what I'm going to mention in there.
Yeah.
But I would love for a principal to spearhead it. So let me know. Anything
that you're going to be a part of, you count me in, because you're amazing, and I'm super grateful that I had an opportunity to connect with you on Twitter and become friends. So